Welcome in to Outkick, the show, Monday edition. I hope all of you are having spectacular Mondays wherever in the country you may find yourself, wherever in the world that might be. I want to start right off the top here. First of all, I encourage all of you to go to sportsbookreview.com for the latest NHL odds. The NHL playoffs are starting on Wednesday. If you are going to gamble on the NHL playoffs, you're going to want to make sure that you get the best possible numbers, and you can look at all of the different locations, offshore, onshore, everywhere, at sportsbookreview.com. Make sure that you go to sportsbookreview.com to check out all of the latest NHL gambling-related odds. Also, I keep teasing this, and eventually I'm going to put it out on the overall website. We are going to have Outkick the weekend in Las Vegas. The best way to ensure that you get into our Las Vegas event is, one, be an Outkick VIP, because I think there's a good shot. That we are going to sell out only with VIP members being able to buy rooms and come to the event. So sign up for Outkick VIP right now. Go to Outkick.com. You're going to actually save money if you want to come to our event in Las Vegas by signing up for the year of VIP. All right. Here is the second way. You can go to my friends at thehomeloanexpert.com. Go to thehomeloanexpert.com. And if you close a mortgage in the month of April, all right, I'm going to limit it to April right now. If you close a mortgage in the month of April and you tell them that Clay Travis or Outkick sent you, I'll give you a free weekend at our Vegas event, as well as access to all of our Vegas-related events. Pretty cool offer there. If you've been thinking about getting a mortgage, getting a refi, getting pre-qualified, all of those things would qualify. Go to thehomeloanexpert.com. All right, let's get to the gusto here. Let's get to the big stories. And I want to start with this one, even though it's the last thing on the rundown. We're going to talk about the Masters, talk about WrestleMania last night. I will talk about Billions, which I think is the most entertaining show on television right now, and you need to be watching if you aren't already watching. But first, this is a story that just came down today. Packers, I can't believe it's not gotten more attention so far. Packers wide receiver Trevor Davis was arrested for making a bomb joke at LAX, at the LA airport. So you thought you had a rough weekend. This dude is with his hot girlfriend, probably a hot girlfriend. He's a wide receiver in the NFL. If he doesn't have a hot girlfriend, he needs to reconsider his life. And I believe he went to USC before that. So if he played football at USC and he's an NFL wide receiver and he doesn't have a hot girlfriend who he's taken to Hawaii, he needs to reconsider every decision that he's ever made to his life. So this is crazy. Los Angeles Airport Police spokesperson said Monday, Davis and a female companion, a.k.a. a girl he was going to have a lot of sex with, were headed to Hawaii, and they were at the Hawaiian Airlines ticket counter Sunday morning when the ticket agent asked them, I swear to God, this is a real story, asked them if they had a list of unapproved items like aerosols, knives, or explosives, a standard procedure before checking on to a flight. You probably have gotten this question before. Davis turned to the girl, his girlfriend that he was going to be having abundant amounts of sex with in Hawaii, couldn't wait to get there, and said, yeah, did you pack the explosives? Clearly making a joke to his hopeful dime piece that he's about to go to Hawaii with. Trevor turns to the girl and says, yeah, did you pack the explosives? Airport police, you talk about getting screwed here. You would think that every travel agent would be like, haha, that's really stupid. You don't mean that, right? Let's go ahead and mean it not, mean you're not serious. Somebody's saying that he went to Cal, not to USC. Airport police were alerted. He was subsequently arrested. He was arrested on a misdemeanor charge of making a bomb threat. He was then booked into LA jail shortly after noon Sunday, released on $15,000 bail. I mean, this is like the worst possible way to start a trip to Hawaii with your hot girlfriend. You get asked, are you carrying, what did you say? Aerosols, knives, or explosives? A question that occasionally you get asked. I think you get asked a lot of times. And he responded, to his girlfriend, yeah, did you pack the explosives? I find it impossible to believe. I find it impossible to believe that this is all this guy did. Surely there was more to this than him saying, yeah, did you pack the explosives? The ticket agent should have been like, ha ha, you're an idiot. You're not really making a bomb threat, right? Because if you are, I'm going to have to call security and you're going to get arrested. Now, maybe this guy just went all George Costanza on it and he's like trying to sell the joke. And so he wasn't willing to admit that he was just making a joke. And he's like, no, I'm being serious. Maybe she did pack bombs and like took it a step too far. Regardless, the police were called. He was arrested and he had to pay $15,000 in bail. And probably, I don't know the rule on this, but I'm imagining that when you get arrested like this, you also go on the do not fly list. So he's got a hot ass chick that he was going to take to Hawaii. She's probably got 5 different bikinis that she's packed. She's going to be banging him like crazy the whole week in Hawaii. And instead he goes to jail and has to pay $15,000 to get out on bail. That's a tough break. That is the guy's name. Again, he is currently a Green Bay Packers wide receiver. His name is Trevor Davis. His name is Trevor Davis. The Packers are aware of the matter involving Trevor Davis. The TMZ reported the news. This guy was a 5th-round pick out of Cal in 2016. He played in all 16 games last year and caught 24 passes for 289 yards. And he is currently out on $15,000 bail. I mean, that's pretty good. 24 passes for 289 yards for a 5th-round draft pick as a rookie. Now, obviously, he's getting to catch passes mostly from Aaron Rodgers probably. But the lesson, as always, for everybody out there, do not make jokes about packing explosives before you take your hot girlfriend to Hawaii because you might end up in jail instead. Again, this is a real story, tough break. And I think you got to I rarely, if ever, will say that you have to play the card here. But I think you have to play the racism card here. I think you have to claim that you were treated unfairly because of your joke, even if the person who was getting you arrested was black. I think you just blame racism here because everybody will come running in your defense. I would totally, if I was this guy, I would not play that I made a bad joke card. I'm playing the racism card right here. I'm going straight racism. A black man tried to make a joke about bombs on an airplane. Next thing you know, he's arrested and has to pay $15,000 in bail. That's the card I'm playing here. I'm just throwing it right out there. I'm playing the race card like a motherfucker if I'm this guy. And maybe it's true. Maybe there's just a racist person. I don't, I'm not a big fan of the airline employees in general. But to me, if you make a joke to your girlfriend, if you're 24 years old and you probably have a hot-ass girlfriend, I'm making the joke about the explosives. It's a bad joke to make. There's not a big payoff there. Oh, bomb jokes in the airport probably don't go along direction. But it seems to me that the ticketing agent should be like, yeah, I totally get it. You're making a joke. Maybe it was at TSA. I don't know where it was. Maybe it was in TSA as they're about to go through the metal detectors. But here's the deal. If you have a bomb, you would get caught if TSA was doing their job, right? So why wouldn't you just be like, no, sorry, I was trying to make a joke. Getting arrested and having to pay $15,000 in bail, this seems like a draconian decision by the people at LAX. But let me say this on the record. I fly in and out of LAX a lot over the years. Don't add me to the no-fly list because I'm defending Trevor Davis. Because if that's what it's coming to, I will throw Trevor Davis to the wolves right now, and I will sing the praises of the TSA. I will tell you that the TSA are the greatest people on the planet. I have nothing against the TSA. The last thing I want to do is get on the do not fly list. The last time I went through in Nashville, the head of the TSA security is a big Outkick fan. He's actually a VIP member. And he stopped me and he was like, hey, like a big fan, like we had a little conversation. And then I swear to God, this happened. Then I realized there was something else I wanted to ask him because I haven't gotten signed up for like the extra security clearance because I've been an A-list preferred for so long. It was faster in Nashville to just go A-list preferred than it was to go the pre-clearance route or whatever it was. So I decided I was going to ask him a question about the pre-clearance. And I started to walk back, after I'd already come through security, I was walking back to ask him a question. And when I did, I swear to God, the TSA was on me like a pack of wolves. I don't know what they thought I was going to do. I had just come through the security. It was clear that I was not in any way a danger to anyone because I literally just walked through the metal detector and my bags had just gone through too. But I was turning to try to talk to the TSA guy and I almost got tackled. I thought I was about to get tased. I mean, it was dangerous. The other thing is, if you get TSA pre-check, I don't think it works for your whole family, right? So usually when I'm traveling with my family is when we have an issue with getting through security because you got 3 kids, you got a wife, you got a nanny, you got all these different people. And so it doesn't really benefit me that much. So anyway, I haven't done it yet, but I was asking a question. Next thing you know, I almost got tackled. Good thing I didn't make a joke about bombs because I might still be in jail. Several other things to hit. Masters. Now, let's talk about the Masters for a minute. I thought that Jordan Spieth, I was sitting down on my couch like a lot of you on Sunday watching the Masters. I was rooting for Jordan Spieth. I'm not sure that there has ever been a more hated golfer than Patrick Reed. I didn't realize that everybody hated Patrick Reed. I was like, what did this dude do? And everybody's like, well, he's a really bad golf teammate and he's mean to his mom and dad. And I'm like, so? Like everybody's rooting for Tiger Woods and he was banging porn stars left and right. This guy has a bad relationship with his mom and dad and nobody will cheer for him at the Masters. There's a standard for what golf misbehavior is relative to every other sport is so much different. It's unbelievable. Can you imagine not cheering for a baseball, football, or hockey player because he didn't get along with his mom and dad? A lot of those guys don't even know their dads in all 3 of those sports. In golf, they're like, oh, we can't cheer for Patrick Reed. He doesn't get along with his mom and dad. That's the standard for whether or not you can root for a guy? And he played in Augusta and won him a couple of championships. He's a thief. Cam Newton is a thief. This is unbelievable to me. You talk about just a high level of standard for not rooting for a guy to make birdies compared to what people have gotten away with in the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NHL, and the NBA for that matter. The golf fans are like, oh, we can't cheer for that guy. He's a douchebag. Well, what did he do? Well, he wasn't that good of a teammate, and he doesn't get along with his mom and dad. And years ago, he stole something. And he got kicked out of Georgia because he liked to drink too much. And I'm like, Jameis Winston raped a girl, and he went number 1 overall in the NFL draft. And if you say anything bad at all about Jameis Winston, people say you're racist. And he stole crab legs, and he's just not that good of a player. And everybody's like, oh, you don't like Jameis Winston, you're racist. Patrick Reed is a bad teammate. He doesn't get along with his mom and dad, and people were ready to cut him at the Masters. I mean, there were old ladies, white-haired, sitting there with switchblades. If he came anywhere near him, they were going to gut him. And I'm like, well, I had to do all this research. I'm like, what in the world did Patrick Reed do for everybody to hate him? And only thing I can find is that he doesn't get along with his mom and dad now. What if his mom and dad are assholes? Like, is that impossible? Is it impossible for somebody to have awful parents? And people are like, well, his wife is mean. And I'm like, that's the standard in golf? He doesn't get along with his parents and his wife is mean, so we're going to cheer for everybody else against him? I mean, now I understand why Tiger Woods had so much trouble coming back from just having sex with people he wasn't married to. The standard for misbehavior in golf is like tougher than the president's standard. But it's unbelievable. Who are these huge golf fans who are just throwing everybody under the bus here? He's also chubby. He's not like, I understand better if people were like, I hate Adam Scott. Adam Scott is unfairly good looking. He undoubtedly has a smoking hot wife. Everything that he does looks like it's perfect. He looks like the male model inside of the frames that you buy in like a department store. I would understand that because it would be rooted in jealousy. I wish I looked like Adam Scott. I wish I was as good at golf as he is, other than that stupid belly putter he uses. But this is not even rooted in jealousy. You got a fat guy who's not good looking, who is, I mean, by the way, can we talk about how little discipline you have to have in your life to be a fat guy if you are a golfer? Why can you not just not be fat? I don't get this at all. You are out, theoretically, having to get decent exercise every day to be pretty decent as a golfer, right? This is like my thing with fat basketball players. I don't understand how they exist. Remember Oliver Miller back in the day? You run up and down the basketball court all day long, miles and miles every day. It's almost impossible to get more cardio than you do. How are you fat? Is it inappropriate now to ask how fat people are fat? Like, I understand like a baseball player who doesn't do any cardio. You know, he's a designated hitter. He's just a fat dude. He comes out and swings the bat hard like 8 times. Then he goes back to the hotel and he just like eats the most ridiculous things in the menu. He's got room service. He's drinking like a fish, all those things. How do you end up fat if you are a pro athlete? Like, you shouldn't be able to be fat and be a pro athlete. And I don't understand how you can be fat and be a golfer. Do you think the fatness helps him drive the ball farther? Because I will tell you this. I felt like as I got fatter, I got stronger. I don't know why it is. Has anybody else ever noticed that? Like, when I would get out of shape and I would lay down on the bench press and I could tell that I was fatter, somehow I was stronger. That doesn't seem like it should happen. It seems like an evolutionary flaw. Why would you get stronger as you get fatter? Because it's not as if you're adding muscle. It's just that you're getting fatter. But I could bench press more the fatter I was. I was able to get more reps up the fatter I was. Is it because your body is training by carrying your fatness that you're able to get more bench press reps up? I've always wondered that. If I were totally ripped, I would be able to bench press a lot less than I can right now when I weigh 188 pounds. All right, right now I am 6 foot, 188, 189. I should be about 6 foot, 175. But if I were 6 foot, 175, I wouldn't be as strong as I am at 6 foot, 188, 190. All right, it doesn't make any sense. So anyway, that's always been a big mystery to me. Big mystery to me. There's no doubt. It doesn't make any sense. Fat people are always lifting weights. No, usually fat people are not doing much of anything. But if you are this guy, if you're Patrick Reed and you're out walking the course, at least somewhat, or at least exerting physical energy on some level, what is he eating? I just don't understand it. I don't understand how it happens. I don't understand how fat people are fat if they're pro athletes. That's my thing. I don't get Patrick Reed being like the worst human being ever. I mean, we got so many worse athletes than Patrick Reed, yet everybody is just killing Patrick Reed as if he's the worst human being on the planet. Did anybody else stay up and watch the whole WrestleMania last night? I actually thought I watched the whole WrestleMania, but it kept going on. I fell asleep before they had that kid come in the ring and fight as the playman. I'm actually curious on this. Did you guys watch WrestleMania? Facebook and Periscope. Let me know if you watched. I'm curious by the percentages of commenters and whatnot. Did you watch WrestleMania? I thought it was a pretty good show. I thought Ronda Rousey was very good. I thought the wrestling match. I'm a big fan of AJ Styles. I like AJ Styles' entrance music. I like how athletic he is. The fact that he just throws himself everywhere. We had a couple of the wrestlers on. We had Jeff Jarrett on the show this morning. I am a WrestleMania fan via the fact that I'm a WWE shareholder. And to me, the most intriguing thing about the WWE business is thinking about what exactly is going to happen with their business. They're supposed to announce the number of signups that they have for the WWE network at the close of the market today. And as a result, I think they're going to have over 2 million subscribers. And I still maintain this. I've been telling you guys this for a couple of years. The stock's up over 100% since I've been telling you to do this. Buy WWE stock. I've got a lot of it myself personally. I am confident they're going to get bought out. I think they're going to get a really good deal in their new television package. I think they're going to sign with Fox. And so I think it's really entertaining. People out there are like, well, it's fake. Why would you watch something that's fake? You go to the movies, right? You watch television, right? That's all scripted too. It doesn't mean it can't be entertaining. And so when The Undertaker came out and beat John Cena, I thought that was pretty great. The entrance to the ring for The Undertaker took 45 minutes, and then he fought for 4 minutes. It was unbelievable. It was like an old man entrance. And I swear to God, 45 minutes of him just posing, not doing anything. 45 minutes in, he fought for 4 minutes. This kid came in and fought with Braun Strowman, and it was like a 10-year-old kid. I don't know what exactly happened there, but my kids loved it. My kids are big WWE fans. So I thought in general they did a nice job. And here's a great stat for you. Nobody talks about this, but I think it's a great stat. How popular is wrestling? You hear all the time people talk about the NBA, right? And ESPN people are out there giving fellatio to ESPN, to NBA people all the time about how high the ratings are and how incredible it is. And like ultimately the reason they're doing that is because ESPN is only going to have the NBA at some point in the future. I think they're not going to be able to afford the NFL anymore. And so they're just going to have to like cuddle LeBron James's balls and talk about him all day long. By the way, bad sign for the AM Woke Center show. Bad sign for the AM Woke Center show. They broke the glass and went with LeBron versus Michael Jordan as a legitimate topic on their show on day 6. Now, I know Skip Bayless has made a living on LeBron James versus Michael Jordan every day, and I know, sadly, there are lots of Skip Bayless impersonators who try to do the same thing. You should be ridiculed to the high heavens if in the middle of April you're arguing LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. I'm not above it if it's July and I sit down in my chair and I'm like, fuck, we got 3 hours to do today. All right, let's break the glass and talk about Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. But on the 6th day that your show has ever existed, that's pretty difficult to justify. That is a sign that your show is done for. If you are arguing Michael Jordan versus LeBron James on day 6 of its existence. But the reason why I bring that up is the WWE dunks all over the NBA national games when it comes to ratings. SmackDown and Raw, or Raw and SmackDown on Monday and Tuesday nights, dominate the NBA on TNT and on ESPN, the national NBA games. And so, I'm not kidding about that. Like this Raw will draw like 3.4 million people. The best LeBron James basketball game might draw like 1.8 or 2 million viewers during the regular season. Even many of the NBA playoff games are beaten by the WWE. So I love what the WWE is selling. I love the fact that they've got the WWE network. The stock price, let me check since I'm Dow guy right now. The stock price is up a little bit today, not much. It's a good day in general for the stock market, or at least it was earlier. Sorry, it's down $1. It's down $1 today because it seems like a lot of people are selling the news of how good things have gone. I don't think that they're going to announce more details, I think, later today after the market closes. We'll see what happens. But I'm an absolute thrall with the possibilities from the WWE. All right, the best show, two other things I want to hit on. I've got to hit on Billions, and I want to hit on the NHL playoffs. But in particular, I went to Saturday night's game between the Predators and the Blue Jackets from Columbus. And I got to give credit here. The Predators came out. They had the awful story about all the young hockey kids who died in the accident, got hit by a semi-truck, 14 or 15 kids, and their coaches all died. I got to give props here. They brought out the anthem singer, and they said as part of the prelude, they said, we are going to sing the Canadian national anthem in honor of the fact that all these kids died. Now look, it is a pale gesture in many ways to say anything in terms of condolences when something that awful happens. When someone has something truly awful happen to them, I feel like there's nothing that you can say that in any way is going to make their world better. I'm not condolence guy. Like when someone that you know has something bad happen to them, I'm not the kind of guy who sends a text message or calls and says, hey, sorry to hear about X. Because then you're putting the onus on the person who already had something bad happen to them to have to text you back and say, thanks, my life sucks, but I'm glad that you told me you were sorry that my life sucks. No. Don't be that person. I don't know where this idea got started that you should text condolences to people. It's awful because all it does is make the person who already feels awful feel obligated to thank you for telling them that they know that something bad happened to you. I don't get it. It makes no sense. There's absolutely no basis to it whatsoever. But I do believe in public gestures like what the Preds and the Blue Jackets did. And I think it's instructive in the way of the anthem in general. They had the woman who was going to sing the United States national anthem come out. And they had everybody stand up. They had everybody in the arena stand up. And they sang the Canadian national anthem. And they asked people who knew the words to sing along with the Canadian national anthem. And I thought that that was as good of a gesture as a sports teams could do to reflect the tragedy that had befallen the people in Canada in the same sport. And I thought it was a moving moment as I looked around the arena and saw that every single person in the entire Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville was standing and that many people were singing along to the Canadian national anthem. I didn't know what the Canadian national anthem was. They didn't even have the words up. The number of people who were able to sing along with the national anthem was flat out amazing. I was blown away by how impressive it was. And the truth of the matter is this, that there isn't a requirement to sing the Canadian national anthem when two American teams are playing. But I thought that was the appropriate gesture that could have been taken there. Now, the NHL playoffs are starting on Wednesday. I am going to certainly be gambling on some of this. The Preds are minus 400. I think the Preds are going to win the Stanley Cup. And the amazing irony here is I hope the Preds do win the Stanley Cup. But the odds, if I had told you in like 1999 or 2000, which is going to win a title first, the University of Tennessee football team, the Nashville Predators, or the Tennessee Titans, is there any way that anybody out there would have taken the Nashville Predators as the most likely Nashville area team to win a championship? The Titans were just coming off a Super Bowl and were the best team in the NFL in 2000. Tennessee was still in the mix to win championships every year, having won one in 98, and it seems like, I hope it happens, that the Preds are actually going to end up winning a title. That will be pretty spectacular to watch. All the playoffs start on Wednesday. And by the way, I'm a come to hockey lately guy. Hockey playoffs are infinitely better than the NBA. Now, I watch the NBA more because I understand the game of basketball much better than I do the NHL, because I never played hockey. I don't know anything at all about it. But the first round of hockey, and frankly, all 16 teams that make the hockey playoffs could win the title. Anybody could get hot. Last year, the Predators were the 8th seed in the West. They went to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final before they lost to the Penguins, right? Any team can win it. How many teams can actually win the NBA playoffs? 3? There's literally 3 teams who can win it. So all the people out there, they're like, the NBA is awesome. You got to watch the NBA. There are 3 fucking teams that can win a title. The Warriors, the Rockets, or maybe the Cavs. That's it. I don't buy into the Raptors. Let's give the Raptors to the people out there. Let's give the Raptors. I'll even give you Philly. It's not going to happen, but I'll give you those 5 teams. Really, there are 3 teams. All right? The NBA playoffs is mostly a total cosmetic charade to make you believe that the regular season actually means anything. The truth of the matter is this. What are the Cavs right now? 49-30? They don't even care. They're going to be the 3 seed or the 4 seed. They're 4 seed right now, aren't they? They're the 4 seed right now. They don't even care. The whole regular season didn't matter. The NBA is the worst postseason of any sport. Goes on forever, and only a couple of teams are actually able to win the title. You make the NFL playoffs, you can win the Super Bowl. We've seen lots of wild card teams win the Super Bowl. You make the Major League Baseball playoffs, you can win the Major League Baseball playoffs. You win the World Series. You make it to the Stanley Cup finals, you can make it from any position. You can win the Stanley Cup from any seed in hockey. Get a hot goalie, anything can happen. Every sport, NCAA tournament, we just saw fucking Loyola of Chicago advance and almost win and go to the Final Four. And certainly Villanova won, but any team could have won that competition. NBA, 3 teams can win it. And really probably only 2. Whoever wins the Western Conference Finals between the Rockets and the Warriors is going to be your NBA champ. That's the truth. It's a bad look for the overall sport. Certainly college football, you make the playoff, we know you can win it. Bama just won it as a 4. Ohio State won it as a 4. It's difficult, but not impossible to win it from any place. Difficult to make the playoffs, but anybody can win it. So that's my breakdown there. All right, Billions. If you are not watching Billions, you need to be watching Billions. I'm in love with this show. I'm curious, are you watching Billions? Yes or no, are you watching Billions? Episode 3 just happened last night. I love everything about it. It is the alpha dog of alpha dog shows. A bunch of badass dudes trying to compete to beat each other in every facet of life. I love Axe. I love Rhodes. I like Wags. I like everybody in this show. I mean, every single person in this show I think is fantastic. And if you aren't watching this show, it's only on season 3. It's on Showtime. I would encourage you to watch it. If you like the law, if you like finance, if you like just 2 badasses going head to head trying to beat each other into oblivion every single day, it is awesome. It is just fantastic. And again, Showtime, Billions, Axe, Wags, Rhodes. I mean, you know everybody by their last name. That's how badass this is. And it is great. So I would encourage you guys to catch up, to watch it. We're going to start doing breakdowns. I'm not going to break it down today. I may break it down tomorrow. Not going to do it live like we do Game of Thrones, but I'm going to give you one more day to watch it, and I'm going to break down the newest episode of Billions tomorrow. All right. Love all of you guys. My name is Clay Travis. It's been Outkick the Show. I would encourage you to go download the podcast. Go download the podcast. We had the man who killed Osama bin Laden, Rob O'Neill, on the show in the first hour today. I don't know how many of you people listened to it or how many have downloaded the podcast already, but he was absolutely phenomenal. He was absolutely phenomenal. This morning we also had Jeff Jarrett and we had Dan Wetzel live from Augusta. 3 great guests, but the first guest, he killed Osama bin Laden. He took us into the helicopter. He told us the story of how it happened. It was absolutely phenomenal. I'm telling you guys, you'll love it. Make sure that you go download the podcast, search out Outkick. You can also get this as a podcast, get the audio of it, but I'm telling you, make sure that you do it. My name is Clay Travis. I got to go work on my book. It's going to be out in September. I'm kind of a big deal. DBAP, boys and girls. I will see you tomorrow, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern on Fox Sports Radio.